Hunter first, man. Great seeing you. I got to ask you, you've been working out, man.
Man, thank you I feel so cool that you've said that. I kind of haven't really, but I'll say that I have because I feel cool if I say that I have. So.
Well, no, man. You look physically bigger.
Thank you. I think that's just because I've been like running around the stage and doing a lot of cardio and trying to do, push-ups or whatever. Yeah.
It's not easy when you're in this business because it's not just about the music, it's appearance. I mean, sometimes it can really be physically demanding.
Yeah, I've definitely found our shows have become more physically demanding. I know last summer I almost injured myself a few times. In fact, I think I did. But yeah, it's all part of it. It's all part of the fun.
Wait a minute, you just can't bypass. What happened in one of these injuries?
No. I was jumping a lot last year, and there were a lot of cement stages or concrete stages, whatever. I don't know. I get made fun of for everything that I call it. But no, there was a lot of hard surfaces that I was jumping up and down on. And of course, I don't wear shoes with a whole lot of padding or anything, so my legs were in a lot of pain pretty consistently. So I got a little worried. I got a little scared.
Yeah, well, you're going to scare the heck out of everybody else, man, because if you get injured, we can have great music like this new album, Storyline. So congratulations on getting the album out, man.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm very excited about this record, not just because whatever. I'm thrilled with this record because it was a perfect way to, I don't know, it's a new record. I'm really proud of the fact that we didn't we didn't go with the second record, the follow-up record, the thing that you do when you think you need to do this or that or the other. I'm really proud of the fact that there's a lot of experimentation on this record. There's a lot of adventures,
I'm glad you said that because I know there's one track, it was instrumental, which I was going through it and I'm going, okay, somebody's gonna start saying, and you didn't, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I wanted to do an interlude. It was my first time getting to work with a real string section and a phenomenal string section and an unbelievable arranger, Paul Buckmaster, who did a lot of stuff with, everybody. But I wanted him to do more than just one song on the record. And so I was like, well, if you're going to build this song up like this, because he worked on Invisible. And so I said, well, if you're going to do something that great with that song, I don't know if I can follow it without you. And so I said, the best thing to do is just to let you kind of, let's build a section that is a bridge, essentially, from that sound to another sound that I love, which is a bluegrass sound. So we kind of all got together and kind of figured out where we wanted it to go. We wanted to change keys, and then I took it from one key to another key, which is actually, I built the bridge to go into a song that's actually not even on the record, which is kind of weird for me and a little uncomfortable, but it was a nice surprise. It forced me to kind of rethink some things, and that's how you discover things. That's the spirit of the record. You never really end up with what you expected to end up with.
Storyline, the name of the title of this album, why that name?
I just love the spirit of the word storyline. To me means I don't know. I like thinking of every day as your story, right? And knowing that when you wake up in the morning, you got the rest of the day to write it. However, you got a blank page, and you write it however you want to. And because at the end of the day, it's every day. Every day is a story that you could share. So write it wisely.
You're always great at doing ballads, and the album does have that. But this, for me, is the first time I've really heard you get down and gritty with a couple of songs.
Nice. I'm so happy to hear you say that. Like, what songs in particular? I don't
right off the top, my friend.
Put you on the spot.
Right off the top,
Yeah,
the first
Wildcard.
one. Yeah, Wildcard. I mean, it was just like, and you got right in there, man.
Gotta crank it. Yeah, well, that was my tribute to a lot of sounds from the country music that I grew up in the 90s with. Some sounds that I really kind of wish never went away. And I don't think they have, but you haven't heard them in a while. So I kind of wanted to just revisit them and go, hey guys, remember all this stuff, the sort of the train beat kind of thing and the shuffle, and all that stuff that just really shapes the sounds that I grew up listening to. And then there's a lot of sort of tribute sounds and tones to like Lindsey Buckingham and a little bit of Keith as well. All kinds of different things all over this record. Like on You Think You Know Somebody, Flashlight, kind of me sort of tipping my hat to the edge kind of thing. As a guitar player, there's a lot of that. As a vocalist, there's a lot of different sort of trying to emulate or trying to just introduce the world to what I listen to. Right? Yeah.
It's important to keep those country elements because there are times now when I'm hearing certain country songs, I'm going, is this a country song or is this a pop song? Because practically every song in this album, you hear that true country influence.
I love that you said that. That makes me so happy. I'm centered. I think it's important. I think it's important because that's what I listen to. That's what I love. That's what I grew up with. That's what I am attached to. That's what I go back to. That's what feels like home. And I'm fine with, I love exploring. I love finding new things. I love, pushing the boundaries or whatever. Not pushing the boundaries. I don't think I'm like one of those guys who like is insanely innovative or anything by any means. I like the search. I like searching for new things, but I also like going back to what it is that made me love the music that I love.
It really, going through your career and your music, you really are a true student of music history. It seems like that's very, very important for you. Why is that, do you think?
Well, I mean, I definitely don't consider myself to be a proper student of music history. There's a lot of records that a lot of people mention that I don't really know a whole lot about, with them, which I'm kind of embarrassed about most of the time, to be honest with you. Which is why I've just started collecting vinyl, and I've gone through and I've cataloged them. That was honestly was probably the biggest influence for this record, was my start of my vinyl collection. Just going through, listening through, and feeling the freedom of all of the influences that you could possibly name. But I do love studying. I do love learning. I find myself lately actually learning songs off of records as opposed to just listening to them and taking the influence. Actually learning them note for note and trying to be able to play them. The weird things like there's a Punch Brothers record that I've been trying to learn back and forth on couple different instruments, but just for the sake of studying, just for the sake of being a better student. I love being a student. I'm just a terrible student because I'm terribly distracted. As soon as I hear something I like, I'm just like, oh, cool, on to the next thing, and focusing more on bringing it home.
Well, you definitely did it because you can hear the influence in that album. But if there's anybody from back in the day that you could perform with, alive or dead, who do you think it would be and why?
From back in the day,
Yeah.
well, I've always been a huge Garth Brooks fan. So
He's still around.
Yeah, exactly. Still rocking, still being an icon. So I mean, yeah, I've always respected him. To me, he's one of my favorite entertainers that has ever graced the earth. I think he is. I don't know. I'm talking him up a whole lot because I think he's worthy. Him. I've just coincidentally got to see Michael Bublé the other night and got to meet him for the first time. But he's on my list of great performers as well. Totally different kind of performer, totally different kind of person on stage. But I think both kind of carry into what it is that I love. And yeah, I'd love to do something with Garth too. That'd be cool.
You're young, but you got an old soul. How is it that in this business that you're able to achieve what you want to achieve, but stay out of the tabloids? There's so many of the young artists who end up, and you're hearing crazy stories about them. I don't think I've ever heard a crazy story about you, period.
Give it time. Give it a day. I mean, you're gonna. And what's funny is you hear a lot of stuff too that's completely untrue. That's my favorite part. When you read something on online of it. Not that I don't go, but like my friends whatever post on Facebook, or they like send a link to me because they know that it's not true, and it's kind of funny to read actually.
No, have you ever heard anything? Have you heard anything about yourself?
Yeah, I've heard a few things that were couldn't be farther from the truth. Some of them were funny. Some of them were kind of just incredibly disappointing. I was like, I can't believe I did that. Well, the good news is I didn't. So no, I appreciate that. I guess that's a good thing, right? Staying out of that I don't know. I'm just not that interesting. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I'm just so like geeky and like whatever, like
Well, look, if you weren't that interesting, then you wouldn't be able to tour and sell out the way you do. So what's going to happen tour-wise?
I'm gonna keep doing it. Gonna keep rocking. Gonna have fun. We tour all year round, so we're still on the road, which I love. I love being on the road. I love that I can be on the road. I love that I have the chance now to actually tour all year round.
So part of that tour, Canada, they're included?
Absolutely.
We're included?
Absolutely. I love it here. We've been several times. Obviously, we got to come on our own a while back, a couple years ago. Got to come as part of Carrie Underwood's tour last year. We've been back a few times. Came back for the CCMAs, which was pretty phenomenal. But yeah, we want to definitely sort of cover the whole country here. So we're gonna do some stuff out east. We're gonna do the Big Valley Jamboree. We're gonna do Cavendish, a couple other things, Boots and Hearts, a couple other events actually. Along the, all over the country. Hopefully coming back and doing even more shows in the fall, good Lord willing.
Yeah, I know you just mentioned it, Boots and Hearts. That's coming up really soon, actually.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah.
Just be prepared because I love the event, but man, it rains on that thing a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
It won't rain this time, man.
Okay, I'm holding you to it.
It's not gonna rain this time. I'm telling you.
I'm holding you to it.
Hey, man. You watch. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be perfect weather.
Hey, The album is perfect.
Thank you.
And you, my friend, always do a great job. Thank you so much. Look, before we wrap this up, I gotta see the guns, man.
What?
I just gotta, come on. I just want to give me some of the guns here.
I feel so. This is gonna be a bad picture somewhere.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's do it. 1, 2. Ah!
There we go.
All right. Thanks, man.
I've never done that before.
There's always a first.